Hey guys, so did you know it was possible to move to Canada using a visitor visa? This is one of the 4 ways you can use to relocate to Canada. So if you are someone who loves Canada and wants to move to Canada, then you have to watch this video. Canada has recently renewed a policy which makes it possible for you to go there with a visitor visa. The reason does not really matter. If you have a visitor visa, you are good to go. You could either be going to visit a family, going as a tourist, or going to attend a conference. If you go to Canada with a visitor visa and you are able to secure yourself a job and get a work permit, you can stay there to work and finally work towards getting your permanent residency. Of course, there are criteria and of course there is a catch, but I'll be discussing that in today's video. And also I'll be teaching you how to apply for this visitor visa. I'll give you tips on some of the things that you need to do so that you'll be assured of getting the visitor visa. Getting the visitor visa is the first step if you want to use this route, and that is what I'll be teaching you today. It is easy, you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay money to somebody to do it for you. Get yourself your computer, your data, watch this video on how to do it, and you're good to go. I don't wanna see the way you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, I still spin inside your orbit. Yeah, welcome back to the video. My name is Mhercie and I live in the UK. Now some of you be wondering, Mhercie, what at all is your business with Canada? Baby, I'll power hobby, hobby. Wherever there's an opportunity, I'm going to talk about it. And this is an opportunity for those of you who want to live in Canada and not UK. So I'm going to talk about it. So this is how the process is going to be like. First of all, you're going to go to the Government of Canada website and then you're going to apply for your visitor visa. I'm going to be showing you into details in a few minutes on how to go about the whole registration. But if you meet the criteria, they're going to give you a visitor visa for an extended amount of time. It could be 6 months, could be 2 years, it depends. Okay, so when they give you the visitor visa, you're going to go to Canada, but mind you, you cannot work in Canada with just a visitor visa, which means that you must get a work permit. Now how do you get a work permit? You must get a job that is LMIA based. LMIA stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment. Okay, this is paperwork that your potential employer must fill to prove to the Canadian government that the position which you are going to fill is one that a foreign worker, which is you, must fill it, and that there's no one in Canada to fill that position. If they fill that paperwork and it's a positive LMIA, it means that they can employ you as a foreign worker to fill that position. So once that paperwork is completed, you can now go ahead to apply for a work permit using your contract, your job offer, and a few other paperwork, okay, to apply for your work permit and then stay in Canada to work. You do not have to leave Canada and come back if you've already gotten a job offer, and what is left is just the paperwork that is being done. Okay, so you can now stay in Canada, work, and then work towards getting your permanent residency. So that was just an overview. Now let's get into details on how to apply for a visitor visa, because to begin this whole process you need to get a visitor visa. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so the website that you want to go to is the Government of Canada website, and to go there you must search www.canada.ca, and this is the first suggestion that Google will give you, so click on that. So this brings us to the Government of Canada website. Okay, so if you scroll down, you see different types of headings: jobs, travel and tourism, benefit, taxes, health, business and industry. Okay, so we are going to go with immigration and citizenship. Okay, so under immigration and citizenship, when you scroll down, you see my application immigrate work is visit visa we want. We are going to click on visit. So when you scroll down, it says apply for a visitor visa. So this is where we are going to be clicking on as well, and you can see that I have already clicked on those links. That's why it's showing purple, otherwise it's going to be the same color as the headings. So if you scroll down, it gives you information basically about what the whole procedure is going to be like. Up here you have 1, about the document, 2, steps to apply, 3, who can apply, 4, supporting documents, 5 is to apply, and 6 is after you have applied. So now let's look at the steps to apply to get a general idea about what the application is going to be like. So the first step is to get the documents that show you meet the criteria for a visitor visa. What are these documents? Let's see. So we are going to click on that link so that we look at the documents that we need to start our application. So over here, they're asking you why you are visiting Canada. When you click on that drop down button, it gives you options, and I don't know why it's not showing in the video. However, based on the options, you choose the one that is applicable to you. For the purpose of today's application, I'm going to choose that I want to visit a family in Canada. If you're going for a tourist reason, you don't have any family in Canada, choose none of the above, because there's no option for tourists in the drop down button. Okay, and then after that, you move to the next option. What is your family member status in Canada? Then there will be drop down options as well. Then you choose the one that is applicable. So the next option is, do you plan to visit your children or grandchildren for more than 6 months? Please take note of this part. Options are either yes or no. If you choose yes, the visa changes from visitor visa to a super visa. So you have to choose no in this part. So let's go ahead and choose no. So let's go now ahead and look at the documents that we'll be needing. The very first document that we'll be needing is the letter of invitation. This is a copy of the letter from the family member inviting you to Canada. The letter must be written to you from your family member. Okay. Proof of relationship. This is a proof of the relationship that the person is your family member. This can include a copy of a marriage certificate. So any one of these documents you can use to prove as the person being your relative. Travel history. Travel history is you showing proof that you've traveled outside of your country. And I don't mean, if you're from Africa, I don't mean just in Africa. Okay, it would be best to have traveled outside of Africa, maybe to neighboring countries around Canada per se. It increases your chance of you getting the visit visa. So a clear copy of one of the following: your previous passports, entry and exit stamps, especially like, you know, when you're traveling to a country, they stamp in your passport. Yes. Study and or work permit that indicates your duration outside of your country, or expired or valid visas. Then your itinerary. What do you plan to be doing in Canada? Okay, something like your flights details, your hotel reservations, if you're going to be living with your family, their person's address, you know, registration for an event, okay, something, okay, to show that you are really coming to visit and you've got things planned. You also need an account statement, okay, bank name and contact, proof it is your account and account details. You need employer information. The letter should be printed on your employer's official letterhead. If you are an employee, okay, or you work already in your country, you need to prove that as well. And then you need an identity document. Okay, this would be your passport. And then statutory, this is for people that are not married, legally married, but in a union, in an official union. Okay, authority to release personal information to a designated individual. Okay, use this form if you want to allow Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada to release your personal information to someone you choose. Okay, family members who apply on behalf of applicants or third parties need to complete this form. Okay, this is when you are applying for somebody. For instance, if it is not yourself, okay, but you're applying for, say, your mom or your brother or someone, then you need to fill this form. But if you're applying for yourself, there's no need for this form. Okay, so these are some of the documents that you'll be needing. I just wanted us to have an idea before we start the application. Now let's go back. Who can apply for this visa? You must meet some basic requirements to get a visitor visa. You must have a valid travel document like a passport. You must be in good health. You must have no criminal or immigration related convictions. Convince an immigration officer that you have ties such as a job, home, financial assets or family that will take you back to your home country. So a lot of people are denied visa because of this thing. They may not show that they have ties back at home, which means that when they give you the visa, you are likely not to return to your home country. So people are denied visas because of this. So you need to prove, okay, convince the immigration officer that if they give you this visitor visa, of course you come back because you have maybe a house at home, vulnerable parents at home, or you have somebody you are taking care of, a family, a job, you know, something to prove that you have ties back in your country and that you return, basically. Okay, convince an immigration officer that you will leave Canada at the end of your visit. and have enough money for your stay. For this visa, if you don't have money in your account, you will not be able to apply, because you need to prove that you have funds in your account before you can apply. Anyway, so if you want to see all these documents, you can go through. However, I think to make the video not too long, let's go ahead and apply. Okay, I know that I'll not be able to apply to the very end, but I'll apply to as far as I can, and so that you know how to go about it when you are doing your application. If you are going to go with the tourist one, it's not part of any of these, so you click none of the above. So why are you applying for a visitor visa? I'm going to go with to unite with a family member. So let's go with to get instructions. So if this isn't what you expected, make another selection. So this will take you back to the page that I just left, so that you can choose a different option. But if this is the option that you want, we just go, yes, I want to unite with a family member, and then proceed. You need to apply for a visitor visa through the IRCC portal. Okay, how to apply for a visitor visa through the IRCC portal. So we'll click on that. So this is going to take us to the page where we are going to start our application. Now, need an IRCC portal. So if you are someone who has already applied for a visitor visa in the past, you will have an IRCC portal. But for those of us who are applying for the first time, we don't have an IRCC portal. So we are going to click sign up and apply. So before you start your application, what would you like to do today? So I would like to apply for a visitor visa for myself. So I'm going to click that. Do you already have an application in process? No, we are starting a new process, so no. So now let's get an IRCC portal account. Then you need to go ahead and type in your email address, okay, and then type it again to confirm. Make sure that this email address is one that you can easily access, because they'll send you some codes over there as well. But when you put in the email address, they'll generate an invitation code which will help you to continue with your application. Your IRCC portal invitation code is, so I'm going to copy to clipboard. Okay, then continue to sign up page. So I'll put the invite code here, okay, and my email address. Create a password, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in my details. So my surname and my given name. Mind you, these are not my real names. I'm just trying to put in something so we can proceed. Select telephone number for the country or territory. I'm going to say order. All right, so you put in the dial code. For instance, the Ghana dial code is +233. I think for Nigeria to be +234. Okay, I don't know about other countries, but whatever your dial code is, you remove the plus and put a 1, not a 0 but a 1. So Ghana will be 1233, Nigeria will be 1234. Okay, and then you proceed and put in your telephone number without the 0. Okay, without the 0. Then you signed up. So they've sent me a verification code to my email address, which I'm going to get. So I have now taken the code from my email and I'm going to put it here in this section, and then I'm going to confirm, and then we are going to proceed with the application. So because you've been able to get the code from your email, they have verified your email. So just go ahead and log in with your email and password that you've created, and then sign in. It brings you to the terms and condition page. Just read through if you like, and then click on I accept, and then it takes you to start your application. So if you scroll down, you see start an application, apply for a visitor visa, transit visa, or a study permit. So we are going to click on that to apply for a visitor visa. So get ready. Make sure you are eligible before you apply. Have these items ready. A credit card or a Visa card. That will be what we are going to be using to pay for the cost of the visa. And they are saying that submit your application. You have 60 days from when you start your application to submit a complete application, which means that when we start this process, you have up to 2 months to be able to finish this application. Okay, I acknowledge that I've read and understand the above information. I'm ready to start my application. Let's start application. So do you want to apply for more than one person at the same time? No, I'm only applying for myself. So let's go ahead. Application for a visitor visa or study permit. I want to apply for, so we are applying for a visitor visa. Why do you need a visa? To be with a loved one who is critically ill? No. To provide care for a loved one who needs medical support? No. To attend a funeral? No. To take up a date? None of these. To visit as a tourist? To visit my spouse, common law partner, dependent child, parent, step-parent, guardian. Okay. To visit other family who are not listed above or friends for less than. So this is it. I'm going to go with that. Okay. Tell us more about what you do in Canada. So this is where you type, okay, maybe I'm going to Canada to visit my friend or my family. We'll be staying at so and so. The reason why I'm visiting is because we haven't seen each other in a long time, and we are planning to go or travel to this part of Canada. You explain everything, okay? At least 475 characters. So let me type something. Okay, so for the sake of the video not to be too long, I have typed just one sentence, but if you are doing your application, you need to really type and explain, okay? Give them details, convince them to give you the visa. So when will you enter Canada? So let's say select the year 2023, this year. Select month, I'm going to say November, okay? Select day, I'm going to say the 10th. When will you leave Canada? So let's just say it's going to be 3 months visit, so 2024 February the 10th. So I don't have this unique client identifier. If you are someone who has already applied for this visa, you may have a unique client identifier, okay? People that have already applied for this visa and they've been given this visa in the past, they have this unique number, but we don't, so we'll leave it because it's our first time. So we save and continue. So let's look at the documents. You selected visitor visa to see family or friends, okay? So these are the documents that you need. A valid passport or travel passport. You must have at least one free page where you can stick your visitor visa. A letter of invitation from that family member that I'm going to visit. Information you need to enter: your personal details, your travel document details, finances, education history, criminality and security, medical background, and family information. So these are the documents that we'll be needing for this particular one. Are you applying on behalf of someone else? No, I'm applying by myself. Okay, travel documents. So surname. So my surname, I'm going to put that there again. Given name. So whenever you are filling this part, please be careful. Fill it according to how your name appears on your passport. Okay, don't fill it and let the name, that the information you give here, be different from that of your passport. Date of birth, I'm going to select 1980 August. Okay, and again, it must be the same date of birth on your passport. Okay, and I'm female. Save and continue. So what document are you traveling with? I'm going to be going with my passport, so I'll click passport. What kind of passport? It's a regular passport, so I'll click regular. Select the country code that matches the one on your passport. So let's look for Ghana. There it is. What's the nationality on your passport? Ghanaian. Okay, Ghana. What's your passport or travel document number? I'm just going to put a random number there, but when you are filling yours, please make sure that it's the right document number. Confirm your travel passport number. I'm going to copy this same number, okay, because I only guessed it. It's not my real number. Date of issue of passport or travel document, I'm going to say the 6th of October then, yeah, 2027. So our document will expire on the 6th of October 2027. That's your passport, of course. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid green card? No. Have you held a Canadian visitor visa in the past 10 years? No. Do you currently hold a valid US non-immigrant visa? No. Are you traveling to Canada by air? Yes. Okay. Save and continue. So citizenship and places where the applicant has lived. Country or territory where you were born. I was born in Ghana. You guessed right. City or town where you were born. I was born in Saboba town. Are you a citizen of more than one country or territory? No. So I'll click on that. Which countries or territories are you a citizen of? So if you're someone with dual citizenship, you can add more data. You can just click add and then include the rest of your data. Okay, but because we are not and we are just from one country, I'm going to say no. So which country or territory are you a citizen of? I'm going to say Ghana. So since what date are you a citizen of this country? So I think I chose 1980 August 5th. Okay, and then I'm going to continue. Do you have a valid national identity document? So I'll say yes. So in this case, I will use my Ghana ID card or my voter's ID, any of the identity national IDs. So with the document number, I'm just going to put numbers there. Date of issue, I'm going to choose a random number. I'm going to choose Ghana. Okay, select the country or territory that issued this document. It was issued in Ghana, that's why I've chosen Ghana. So next, have you used another name in the past? So this is purposely for those who are married or have changed their names. If you have, just click yes and then add the names that you've chosen or you've used before, or your current name, that is. So surname and given name. Okay, if you have changed your name in the past, or if you have used a different name. So in this case, it would be maybe your maiden name before you got married, but I'm going to say no because I'm still using my name. So save and continue. So what is your residential address? So this is where you put in your address, where you live. I'm going to say I live in Ghana, so I'm going to say Ghana. Postal code is optional. There, we don't use postal code in Ghana, so I'm not going to put that. Is your mailing address the same as your residential address? I'm going to say yes. If it is not, then you can say no and put in your mailing address. So list your current country or territory of residence, then add all other countries or territories where you've lived for the past 5 years for more than 6 months. So because I've lived in Ghana alone, I'm just going to put Ghana there. But if you have lived in more than one places for more than 6 months, then you can select that and put that there. Next, save and continue. So biometrics, do we already have your fingerprints and photo, and are they still valid? We've not applied for this visa before, so we need to keep that in mind. So I'm going to say no. So they are telling us you'll be required to submit your biometrics after you pay the biometrics fee and you submit your application. Who is inviting you? So this is where you put in the person's name. Okay, the name of the person who you are going to visit. So for instance, if let's say Kojo is inviting me. Okay, Kojo Kofi is what I'm going to call the person. Relationship, let's say it's my friend. So I can't proceed further from here because I don't have a valid postal address for someone already living in Canada. You understand? So I cannot proceed from here. But if you do have someone who you are going to visit, you can go ahead and put the person's name there. Okay. Now, there are more spaces to go. You have activities, security questions, medical history, family information, contact information, summary, and the documents. Okay, fees, consent, and declaration, and then you complete and send it. Okay, so you still got more spaces to go, but because I can't proceed from here, I'm just going to go ahead and explain these parts. Okay, explain these parts to you, what you'll be required to do over here. All right, guys. So right after you filled in all these parts, including the person's address and all that, the next stage you're going to go through is to the finances. And like I said earlier, they said they were going to need proof of funds. Okay, so remember that whatever amount you put into the finances, you are going to have to prove it. Okay, and I'll advise, depending on how much, you would need approximately between, I'd say, 8,000 to about 12,000, depending on how long you are going to stay. Okay, how long you are going to stay, or at the time that you are applying for the visa, make your inquiries and find out approximately how much people spend in a month, and depending on how many months you are going to do there, you multiply it by that amount and then you put that in your application. Okay, and remember, whatever amount you put in there, you're going to have to show your proof of funds. So under the activities part, the things that they're going to be asking you is your employment and your school history, or your school and work history, and they are going to be asking you for your travel history as well. If you're someone who hasn't had any travel history, you can state that as well. However, you need to keep in mind that it is to your advantage if you have traveled outside of your country. Okay, that way they know that, oh, you have some experience about leaving your own country or by traveling outside. But if you don't have any travel history, they're going to be like, so if you haven't traveled outside of country, why are you coming to Canada? Okay, so don't worry, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it. There are other things that they consider as well. So if you don't have a travel history, state it there. Under security reasons, they are going to be asking you about your criminal record. Just like all applications, they would want to know your criminal record. So they'll ask you, have you had any convictions and all that. These are all the questions that you'll be answering. Okay, under the medical history, you're going to be asked about your medical condition. Have you ever been diagnosed of tuberculosis? Has someone close to you ever been diagnosed of tuberculosis? Are you on dialysis? Your health history or your health issues. This is where you'll be answering all of those questions. So when you answer all the medical history questions, the next one will be family information. So over here, you're going to be answering questions. If you're a married person, you'll be answering questions on your spouse, like, do you live at the same place with your spouse, their date of birth, their address, and all that. Okay, if you have children, you'll be answering questions about your children. How many children do you have? Do you live with them, and all that as well. Okay, and finally, you'll be answering questions regarding your parents, their age, do they live in the same residence as you, do they live somewhere else, their date of birth, and all that. This is where you'll be answering all family related questions. So after answering questions about your family members, okay, including your spouse, your children, and your parents, the next one is contact information. You are going to be giving information about yourself, your email address, and your contact number. Okay, these are where you are going to be answering all of your questions. When you come to the summary, they are going to let you go through what you've answered so far. If you want to make any corrections at all, then you can make corrections. So this will be a summary of all of these things that you have already answered. So you go ahead and upload your document, and take notes, your documents must not be more than 2 megabytes. So if the documents that you're uploading are going to be more than 2 megabytes, you need to use other apps to reduce the size of the document before you upload it. Okay, then you go ahead and go on to pay your fees, and like I said, you need your credit or Visa card to be able to pay for the fees here. For the biometrics, where they are going to be taking your fingerprints, you're going to be paying $85. Okay, and for the visa itself, you're going to be paying $100. So in total, you're going to be paying about $185. Okay, when you have paid your fees, you go ahead and select a box that says that you have read, or something that says that the documents you have uploaded are true and all that. Give consent and sign a declaration. Then after you have given your consent and have signed a declaration, you go ahead and complete your application by submitting it. If you want, you can submit it immediately. If not, like they said, you have up to 60 days before you can submit it. So today will be let's say we are applying today, it will be the first day. So if I don't submit the application today, I have up to 59 more days in order to submit this application. So this is something you can do over the course of 2 months. Okay, this application you can do over the course of 2 months. You don't have to necessarily complete it at a go. You can be preparing your documents whilst applying. Okay, a step-by-step process. You don't have to finish everything at once. However, it's your choice. If you gather all your documents, there'll be no need to not send it. Okay, so when they're happy with your application, they'll call you or arrange a time for you to give your fingerprint and your biometrics. Okay, then they'll review and process your application, and if they're happy with everything that they have received, they'll call you and ask you to bring your passport. Okay, when you take your passport, they'll stamp inside to give you your visa, and that is it. The next thing is for you to prepare to travel and go to Canada. Alright, so now that you know how to apply for a visitor visa, are you going to be able to apply for it yourself? If not, save this video and use it as a reference. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the notification bell so that every time I upload a video you are notified. I bring you good information and updates every now and again. And also I've got my Telegram pages linked in the description box of this video. Click below and join my Telegram pages. I've got one for nurses and midwives, and I've got one for teachers as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye for now.
I don't wanna see the way you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, I still spin inside your orbit.